Welcome, trainers, to the PokeSphere. We're your destination for in-depth Pokemon news, community discussions, and editorial content. We're passionate about this franchise, and we're here to share our insights and connect with fellow fans. So let's talk Pokemon. And today, we've got the usual suspects into the recording booth, and one of them, X, had come up with an interesting and innovative thought experiment. And so, X, take it away.
I love how he puts this all on me, like, this was, no. So we were all talking about ideas in terms of, like, gym leaders, what they've done with the gym structure and stuff like that. Seen it even in the anime, several seasons, several generations in the video games, on different things. Like sometimes they kind of acted like the mayor of the town. Sometimes they were just like bosses of a big company or something, but they always seem to have a different role within the region. Most recently, we have a trend of leaders using types based on their jobs, kind of like we saw in Paldea. Or the baker was using bugs because of bees making honey and sweets and stuff like that. It's really interesting to look at what it means to be a gym leader in Poke Society, while still having to remain on that single type. As we approach the grand turning point into the 10th generation of Pokemon, potential we could see the whole gym leader and the gym structure striking up a lot more than we even saw done in Alola with the trials. Today on the PokeSphere, I wanted to propose the idea that we share some of our hopes and dreams of what a gym leader could mean in the future of the Pokemon world, and not just generally like guess what Gen 10 will be, maybe even take it back to the playground and just some cool ideas and generate some fun discussion.
All right, I'm down. Who's down? You down? We down?
You.
Bring up your inner childs right now.
I am not down. I am up.
This was a problem titled.
Oh, you know it.
So one of the ideas that we brought up, the fact that like instead of gym leaders being locked to a specific type, they really showcase the kind of their local area. This is going to be a bad example, but think of like farm to table restaurants.
Apple and pie.
So the idea of you go to a town and the gym leader's there, and instead of, oh, they use just electric type, and that's, okay, I'm going to use the ground. I'm going to grab a Diglett from the nearby cave. I'm going to sweep through this. Well, what if that ground team had Diglett from the cave, Ponyta from that route that you just walked into the town from, and they structure their team around the strategy and diversity of the Pokemon that are immediately close to them. Their top. How about that, guys? What type of teams would you guys come up with if you had to structure it around Pokemon around your favorite town in the Pokemon world?
Ooh, first gym challenge, like gym leader that you face, I reckon a good idea would be Nurse Joy, because she's like kind of the one of the mainstay characters that you will always interact with, and I think her team should be aimed around like heal stalling you, so you have to come up with an interesting early game strategy to try and beat her.
Oh, that's a good one. And you know what the nice thing is that there's moves out there that are specific to blocking heals, but no one ever seems to run them. So having a gym leader whose specialty is the healing would not only put you at a massive disadvantage, because especially if you've got coverage, but now you're going to have to run moves that you kind of forget exist until you absolutely need them. I like this idea.
Dude, just imagine like heal, block, milk, drink, hard boil.
I'm getting Whitney vibes. Like I'm getting PTSD from Whitney's mill tank right now, and I don't like it because it sounds like you're trying to make an entire team of C's and Chanseys that just wish pass all over the world.
They're not gonna start you. I mean, obviously it would be first gym, because I think that would be a way to balance it out. So it's not too difficult. I mean, it's feasible that you could beat her, but you'd like have to put a little bit of thought into it.
I mean, we've seen such things in first gyms a lot. Like even Brock would use Fossilmon because the museum was there.
So I was gonna have to base a theme on it. My first choice would be, I would say a water type gym, like where like rain, like set up rain and all that, and then to counter like any part tomorrow type too as well. And anything basically anything that's super effective against one.
So we know Rio's team is just going to be in the middle of the ocean. He's just going to be sitting there in a boat like, why isn't anyone challenging me?
Just a fisherman enjoying his day.
Right.
I know you're very interesting.
The reason nobody shows up is because somebody else kept telling everybody, no, Don't go to that place. It's too much water.
He's like that fisherman that turns around and just battles you with 6 Magikarp because that's just what he caught in that moment. Would be an incredible first gym leader.
Dude, luck of the draw.
And
So
and
the
the
first
last
random wild Pokemon that they fished out is that, and you beat him. Like, that'd be so incredible. That reminds me, like, in Laneria, everyone has badge. Like, not just gym leaders. It's not even a gym leader thing. There are no gym leaders, but everyone has badges and they use them to basically like flag their friend. It's ripped from the ideas of the Renaissance festivals where everyone would have a favors pack, and on that favor, cloth, you'd wear pins to represent like, oh, I'm the Queen's Fool appreciates me, so I represent that, and so that's how you collect your badges. And this is what it really reminds me of, is like you run into the random fisherman and he's like, oh man, you caught the 6 biggest fish I caught today. Here, the Magikarp scale.
need that last multi part to be level 15. Oh no, I think it's a good idea. Having the whole like the gym leaders using the Pokemon that are like based around where they're at. I mean, like, you can think about it like, oh, this first gym leader has like all like Route 1 Pokemon kind of thing, right? You have your, the bird, rodent, normal type, whatever, right? Like, I think it would also show like the, in a way, like the, well, if they keep it where you have to stay on a linear path challenging gyms, then they, they can keep the level scaling that way as well. But yeah, I definitely think it's a good idea too. And then, they can throw in their little theme of like whatever that gym leader kind of does or is known for around the town or city, right? So that'd be, yeah.
That's just given me an idea. So I'm going to share my idea real quick, because if we're adding restrictions, another gym leader maybe later on down the line is like, I think X and I touched on this briefly at some point. A power plant or a gym leader who works at a power plant, so his team would comprise of like maybe fire types, electric types, water type, and ground types, or rock types. I forget what type the roly-coly line is. And you can only challenge him with mons that can be used to stall a power plant. And the whole gym puzzle is you going around the town and talking to NPCs and finding out what mons those would be. Obviously, the mons that you're given would be found in earlier routes, but you wouldn't know exactly why they were found there until you get to that town.
Get taken out by Diglets.
Yes, sir.
No, the idea I had is I love gimmicks. I think we don't do enough with some of the gimmicks, some of the gimmicky moves that we have. I'm always a big proponent of things like soap, magic powder, trick or treat, forest curse. I love moves like roleplay, entrainment, skill swap. Those types of moves, those things that really just change the landscape, those would definitely be something up my alley, and I would use Pokemon that would reflect that. So like one of the ones that came up to my head is Wormadam, the female form. Depending on what the coat was of Burmy when it evolved determines the typing of what Wormadam evolves into, which no other Pokemon has ever done to my knowledge. And then you've got things like Smeargle, who can learn any move in the game with Sketch, which is, I wish the stats on Smeargle were better to make him a bit more competitively viable. But the fact that he's a Swiss Army knife is amazing to me, and I love that. And honestly, I would probably see about reverting Protean, or I would hope that Protean and Libro, or at the very least Protean, be restored to its original state, where whatever the move you used or you're about to use is the typing you become, just to keep opponents on their heels. Or maybe even just make a Pokemon who's got that ability built in. They'll make it a new ability for whatever reason. Why, I don't know. But, and then have it be able to use a move that will effectively turn around and change your typing as well. I know there's Convert 1 and Convert 2, but I think they're using their use is a bit more clunkier than I think we can get away with now in the more streamlined version of these newer generations. And I want to bring back some of the stuff that some of the moves that have been pulled away. Simple Beam, for example, basically turns you into a normal type, and everything you shoot out is a normal type. But that's just me. That's just kind of where I think, because I'm living in an area where you can go from very urban to very rural in a matter of minutes because I have a giant mountain in my backyard, but I'm also 20 minutes away from New York City. So take your pick which direction.
I prefer to stay in Africa thing.
I like the whole showcasing the gimmick moves, which is another way. Like, I think we've seen that touchdown, but very late. One of the gym leaders actually used a sun-based team, the 8th gym leader. But it would be cool if they did it different ways. Like, as you're progressing, I'd like the idea of theming it on competitive strategies, but scaled down to some degree, like, so that they're learning moments. One of the other ideas that I also had is roaming gym leader. Like, we've seen roaming Pokemon with the wild dogs and a Johto. What if the gym leaders represented a town and best way this would work would be Galar, where it had the wild area, where like you go to the town and they're like, oh, well, that gym leader is actually out training in wild area 62. And you have to actually go find them. Like, the gym leaders are actively still adventuring, like, to show that there's a continual growth to this, that you don't just plateau at a certain level and retire as a gym leader champion or an old veteran that offers people access to a runestone to purify shadow Pokemon.
I love this idea. I love it so much.
Yeah, that kind of, the picture that popped into my head was when Ash meets Alder somewhere in his travel. I can't remember exactly where, but he's like sitting on a hill or something, walking through like a little cavern.
I've got a good idea. Like, V Rising. So in V Rising, they've got some bosses that wander throughout an entire map, and it is absolutely wild how you can just trip on the wrong boss. And what's to say that there wasn't just one gym leader roaming around? You know, you might need the badge for your level 20 Pokemon, but you might accidentally trip over the guy who's rocking the level 60s, and now you're in a problem. I mean, there's so much versatility that comes with a roaming gym leader. I truly do love the idea. I like this. I want this. Make this a thing, Nintendo. I know you're hearing us.
And bringing gym later.
That reminds me of the Nemesis system from the Middle-earth games. So for those who don't know, Middle-earth, Shadows of War, and Shadows of Mordor are like Hobbit, Lord of the Rings type universes, and they're called the Nemesis. And if you defeat one of the orcs and you don't kill them, they can come back stronger. And I know this is about gym leaders, but what if we went on a little tangent, spoke about evil team? And like the evil team would go around recruiting trainers that you've beaten.
Online team ups, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd end up facing them again later, and they might have progressed through the ranks. They might be like an admin or something like that.
Actually, I know about those.
I mean, or even just an evil team leader. Or what if an early gym leader gets beat and that is their sole motivation to organize the evil team and just have the vendetta against that, like, solely or trainers? Like, what if the origin story of Skeptis, that he got beat as an early trainer? Like, he got his starter Pokemon and immediately got annihilated and embarrassed so badly by his early rival that he decided he was going to concoct this whole evil plan to take everyone else's Pokemon, so that way there'd be no trainers that could possibly ever be stronger than him, and he would never lose again.
I really like that idea.
You guys know the character like Rock, Misty, Ash, right? So what if we were roaming? I mean, they were roaming in the ones of the example. Ash, he has his team, his original example, like he's just so sober. He has to mega evolution, Z moves, and to terrorize the enemies. So we didn't know that.
So you mean like in the span of one battle, you'd be able to use all the gimmick?
Yes, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Now I'm following.
I think we're going to be leading to that in Champions in due time, at least within the cap circuit.
It'll be worlds format every year.
Well, we can battle a Gen A Ray, like a Diamond Pokemon, and if we didn't have Dynamax, but we had just like a Mega Evolution, same concept. We can use those too in the raid battle.
So kind of like where you can re-challenge the gym leaders, but they're like aged up and there's a timeline progression to
Start a team.
not understanding how, but it would be interesting. Like I joked with Unscrewed, like if I was a gym leader in their whole thing, where I would do some quantum mechanical stuff where, but once you enter my gym, it automatically times. The moment you tried to leave the gym without or with the badge, it would time skip you back to the moment that you were entering the gym. That actually does remind me of one of the other ideas that I had, like the idea where you and re-challenge the gym leaders in order to get different tier badges. Like the first time you'd get a bronze badge, the second time they'd have a stronger team, you'd silver badge. Then you can kind of go for gold. Is that kind of the idea, Rio?
Yes, like the battle tower, the tower, where we start from brown rank and then we reach all the way to this. So basically like that.
Okay, yeah, no, I had that idea where you'd have a medal system, but I was thinking more like gym leader tournament organizer instead, which would we were sort of heading that way when people brought up the Nemesis system and the idea of like the people that you've already beat on your journey started getting recruited by this evil team, and then now maybe the tournaments are being held by all these people who are trying to stop for some reason.
Yeah, like double T, even triple that.
Okay, I'm all for the return of rotation battles.
So in terms of like the gym, right? I feel like I kind of wanted to take the Alola route again, kind of thing, where like we have like trials and stuff, and then I mean, just make it simple, right? Like if what's been going around or what's been rumored is real, let's say, which it's not until proven or until officially released. I think having like a trial captain system would be kind of neat too. Get us to explore like the location of the of like where the gym or town is located, right? Set up some side quests to do that can kind of relate to gym. You can they can do something annoying like, oh, the gym leader is out right now, so you got to go find them, or oh, the gym leader is feeling cranky because someone woke him up and he wants like a certain type of food, so go get him this food or something. Like it's the only way to calm him down. And then you can still like have the whole thing like them using the Pokemon that's stationed around the town, help people learn some, it kind of like forces the player to catch the multiple types of Pokemon that are around that city to help them against like the gym leader and stuff, or like just to kind of give them like, maybe they can do things where they also find like stuff about like, and random NPC says, oh, the gym leader likes using this Pokemon and that Pokemon, then, it kind of helps with the player experience, plus the world building and all that jazz. And yeah, you can use those types of things to help improve like the town or gym, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I love that idea that like if you're walking around Celadon City, you can talk to some of the NPCs and you'll run into other trainers that'll be like, I tried to take on Erica, but there's no way I could defeat her Vileplume. And if you talk to enough of them, you could literally figure out the entire thing. Like, her Victory Bell's toxic just was too much for me to handle. And you could literally form the entire team by talking to the NPCs. I adore that Guren.
Yeah. Or you can have like that, that random NPC that's outside her gym be like,
I did sort of also have another idea when we were discussing evil teams and obviously tied with gym leaders. So Giovanni was a gym leader, but I don't think that gets addressed, because I think at the point where you face Giovanni, you already know he's a gym leader. I feel like if we had another evil team boss as a gym leader, it should be like an Ocean's 11 situation where the goal is to try and steal the gym badge, and obviously you would have to fight the gym leader, because that would be like the inevitable thing of you do get caught, but you have to go through this whole thing, kind of similar to how Toga's gym worked, where it had the invisible walls. But in this scenario, if you get caught, you have to restart all over again, and the gym has like 5 different layouts that are swapped between every time you get caught.
So we just putting gyms in the distortion world now? Is that what we're doing, Chase?
Maybe. I can neither confirm nor deny this accusation.
I think that'd be kind of a sick way to like find the gym leader though. It would be like a legendary Pokemon encounter. No, that's all I wanted to say. Like you could probably like even like encounter a legendary Pokemon, like even if it's just like story wise, that'd be pretty cool.
So my idea for a gym leader is we just go to the distortion world and there's Voldo. Gone.
There's all the what?
Just Voldo. Just hi, Giratina.
Okay, you know what? You just gave me a better idea. How about if there's a gym leader, but it's the gym leaders in the next Pokemon game should all be the Pokemon that transform into human form. So you think you're fighting a gym leader? No, you're fighting a legendary Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
And the way you beat them Just chuck a Master Ball at them. Aha! Wait, why did that work? That shouldn't have worked. Why did that work?
Right? That would be. What if, because the way that they explain that Pokeballs work is it's actually the Pokemon themselves using their ability to shrink down. So that means that it only works because they're willing to be caught. So even the Master Ball that has a 100% success rate, still somehow giving them a weird consent level. I'm so confused.
Oh, Draco's idea just gave me what I think could be a really cool idea. So for Gen 10, say one of the towns has been abandoned, but not one of the towns, but one of the areas has been abandoned. Maybe it has like 3 towns. And the way that town is presented to you is if you had Pokopia save data on your Switch, that's what that area would look like how you built it up and everything. If you didn't play Pokopia, then you get like one from a random set of like pre-built ones that they did.
I like this idea.
Or like boss or cog. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but from scratch.
So you're telling, I think all the gym leaders should just be transformed Dittos at this point.
Or Zeraora, because Zeraora.
But Zeraora can't actually act in like that weird humanish way like we're seeing Ditto act in Pokopia. So now all the gym leaders are just Dittos transformed into what they thought the old gym leaders were.
Zoroark would just be the gym guy who greets you at the front.
Yeah, but you create an illusion of being translated into cycle.
The illusion of intelligence, not intelligence itself.
You know, coincidentally, someone said that to me the other day.
I say it to myself every morning, Chase.
Well,
No, I honestly think the idea of like, out of everything that we mentioned, gym leaders that represent a town by the local Pokemon, but are still out there in the world roaming, and once you defeat them, join some sort of organization or that then presents you with a tournament-like situation that you can re-challenge them, and through that tournament situation can upgrade your badges from bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and depending on what tier of your badges are, when you go to Indigo, Pokemon League, Cryo League champions, 4 best things in the league, and you try to take them on, that determines the scaling of the Pokemon League. So the gym leaders don't need level scaling in this sense, because you just kind of find them in whatever area, and that's what determines their level. But the Pokemon League itself will have a level scaling based on what tier your badges are. What do you guys think of that as like a big snowball effect to what we were kind of discussing? Not to mention the fact that all the gym leaders are on like what their jobs are, and maybe like I love the idea of dual type gym leader because it just writes more narrative than a single type.
Yeah, find a way to incorporate all 18 types, yo.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for sure.
All right, Draco, call it Nintendo, patent it, sell it, let's make some money.
he doesn't need to call Nintendo. He just needs to put the paperwork through.
Yeah, I hate you guys so much.
Out of all the ideas we've discussed, I think we've got some bangers here, and with the main game sort of shifting away from competitive, it really opens up that can of worms for them to focus on, new and innovative ways to bring the story across. Go for it.
My concept would be fighting game would win 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 gym leader. Thinking you have to challenge it more than once, right? And then you have to prove yourself that you can beat that to earn that gym badge in order, you just pick that one and done, but you have to beat it down, they said.
Oh, so like kind of how I think it was Gen 1. You had to take on the dojo in order to fight the master to then get access to either Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee.
Oh yeah, the Pine Dojo, yes.
I think that's a really cool idea.
And with that, brings this episode to a close. What are your thoughts about the this gym leader mix-up that we've got going on? What kind of a mechanic or gym leader would you like to see that's different from the standard typing only? Let us know down below. Also, be sure to share, like, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble. We are on X. We are also on Blue Sky, and we have our own Discord. Come in, check us out. We're always around. And as always, we'll see you in the next video.